This is the Johnny Cleveland Podcast, all things Cleveland sports, with your host, John Suchan. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Johnny Cleveland Podcast. Yes, it is a Friday night, about 8:20 in the evening. Thank you for joining us, listening to us here on the Fanatical Elves Network, coming to you live right now on YouTube, on the X, on Facebook. I think we had a little technical glitch on the fans' first side of it, but I think we're live right now on the Fanatical Elves side of Facebook. Wanted to touch base with everybody on this Friday evening before we get into the weekend. And I know we've got the Burning River Browns talk coming up with Lou Marconi. I believe he's going to be hosting with Sherry, Browns fangirl, coming up shortly on the network. So I think they start at 9 o'clock. So I wanted to get in there before then and wanted to just talk a little bit about the Brownies. Obviously, they got a big game against the Commanders on Sunday afternoon. Got a little bit of a cough going on, so if you hear or you see me, got the cough drops going here, trying to have my cough be tempered a little bit on this Friday night. So I'll try not to talk a lot, and we'll go from there. But hope you all had a good week. It's a fun Friday, like my son Grant likes to say. Grant's got the autism, just loves Fridays. He loves working with on Fridays he goes and works at the doggy daycare, or not the doggy day. There's a doggy daycare where he works with dogs that throughout the day. And so anyway, he's having a good day. We're having a good time here. So the Browns again play the Commanders on Sunday, and it will be right now. What I think it's a 3-point. Washington's a 3-point favorite, which is kind of your standard for home games. So it's a little bit of a surprise because Washington they're off to a good start. They're 3-1. They've been beating teams pretty well, scoring lots of points. Jaden Daniels, their new quarterback, has been lights out. Very impressive with his work. Hardly missing a pass, lots of touchdown passes. Now, Washington doesn't have a great defense, especially against the pass. And so this could be another game where Deshaun Watson, knock on wood, shows continued improvement. I think most of us agree that Deshaun played a pretty steady game and really was probably the best player out there for the Browns last week. If that touchdown throw to Amari Cooper doesn't get called back on the inexcusable penalty, which was bogus, and he completes the other pass to Cooper earlier in the game that Cooper just dropped, probably Deshaun Watson goes for over 300 yards in that game, which I know seems to be like the baseline for what's good and what's not. So we'll see how that works out on Sunday. I think the Browns have an opportunity again. Heard Myles Garrett today talking a little bit about himself and his injury and coming off of that. And he described himself as feeling the best that he has in a long while, which is a bit of a surprise considering he could barely walk 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what they're doing and what kind of miracles they're got going on there in Berea, but it's good to hear that Myles seems to be pretty positive. Other players got interviewed today. David Njoku, who's we're not quite sure if he's going to come off and play on Sunday. It'd be great if he did. By the way, David Njoku, I mean, what is the deal, dude? Like, he likes to walk around in his underwear in the locker area all the time. And I don't know. And he's like, I don't know if you saw that interview today, but man, that guy can't sit still. He can't stand still. He has got ADHD, full blown. I'm just like, I wonder what it's like having a conversation with him when you listen to him and stuff. He's just, it's a lot. So it was just unusual that he likes to make sure that everybody sees him without clothing. It's just odd. So anyway, so we'll see if he ends up playing. Nick Chubb has come back the last couple days, and that's got everybody here in Cleveland very upbeat, excited, looking forward to the possibilities that are ahead of this team. Obviously, the Browns are not in a good position right now at 1-3. They've got to get a win. If they lose to the Commanders on Sunday, this town, the Browns fans, this fan base, Stefanski, everything's going to be all up in arms. People will be calling for Stefanski to be fired, blah, blah, blah. It's just going to continue. So let's pray to God that everybody say their prayers. If you're at church tomorrow, Saturday evening mass, or Sunday morning before the game starts at 1:00, say your prayers, your rosaries, or, all of that. So we give the Browns as much good luck. You remember, back in the day, I remember this growing up in Worcester. I go over there to St. Mary's Catholic Church, and this is when the Browns were, getting pretty good, 85, 86, and I could just remember all the times going to church, and the priest would start talking about the Browns games and such. So, yes, I wonder if they still do that at church. I don't go to church very often, but it'd be nice to see if they actually do that. I think that the Browns have a good opportunity of winning this game, but they've got to play smart. They've got to, like we talked the other night on the Fanatical Elves Network, they've got to be able to execute, not make mistakes, not have penalties, call them. Speaking of a wild and crazy, game last night, I mean, between the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, the former Browns quarterback, went out with a flurry, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Looked like Tampa Bay was going to go ahead and win that game. And then they didn't. They couldn't put it away. Fumbled the ball, gave more opportunities to the Falcons. And then Khalil Hodges, the guy that used to play for the Brownies, catches a pass from Kirk Cousins at the very beginning of the overtime period, and he splits like 5 guys on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and races for a touchdown. And the Falcons ends up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of Browns fans love Baker, and Baker and Tampa Bay pretty much blew it. They made some mistakes late, couldn't put it away. So the Browns have got to do they've got to play smart on Sunday. And, the thing was, Deshaun played really well. Can he continue that? I think he can. And if they can maintain their composure and not, turn the ball over. By the way, the Browns don't have an interception on the season. The Browns defense does not have an interception on the season. They've had a couple, they got the fumble recovery last week, which is good. Hopefully those things will come in time. I think Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, talked about the fundamentals, and if this team can play smart, and those sorts of things will come to them. But it has had an effect on this team. I mean, we're in the lower part of we're in the middle of the pack for defenses this year. We're not at the top like we were last year. And offensively, we're down at the bottom in that top, that bottom 5 or 10 teams. So things have got to change, and I hope they change in a hurry, because if we lose this game again, like we said, it could be a lot of discussions on Monday morning quarterback. Let's pause here. This is the Johnny Cleveland podcast. We'll be right back. Hey, we are back here on the Johnny Cleveland podcast. We love the fact that you're joining us, you're tuning in. We'll have this show. I think the last one I did for the Johnny Cleveland podcast, it was an audio exclusive, and you can please go download us on Apple, on Spotify. Tell other friends and family about the Fanatical Elves Network. Yeah, we are Browns fans just like you. We talk like you. Well, I talk silly and crazy and delusional sometimes, but we have got a lot of other great contributors on this programming. So many great podcasters. Like I said, we got Lou Marconi and Sherry coming up next with the Burning River Browns talk. Off during the week, we've got Noah Olson with his East Bank Sports show and his colleagues. Steve Gill with his Dog Pound South show. Sam down there in Dallas, Texas with his Browns breakdowns. That kid, I'm telling you, so savvy, really clever with his conversation. And you got Jarrell Flint with his dog food radio programming. You got Rod Bloom, who just had another great Browns Blitz. Rod I know got a great following of fans that have been faithful and listened to his podcast for many years. We love having Rod as part of our Fanatical Elves Network and the Browns Blitz. Who am I leaving out? I know I'm leaving somebody out. Well, Sherry has got her Breezy Browns talk now, who's going to be on the show tonight with Lou, I believe. Oh, and then we've got myself and Lou. We have on Mondays, we have the Stirring the Pot with Lou Marconi and Johnny Cleveland. And so tune in for that. We had a very colorful show this past Monday. I'm hearing that maybe Lou might talk about that. Not sure on his Browns, Burning Browns talk coming up in about 30 minutes, but stay tuned for that. It should be good TV, good social media programming, right? Okay, what else? Well, we got to congratulate the Guards. The Guards start their baseball postseason tomorrow, Saturday, 1:00 down at Progressive. No, is it Progressive Field right now? Yeah, I think it is, maybe. Okay. Anyway, they play down at the old Jake, and they play, of all teams, the Detroit Tigers. Yes, the Tigers team, just, that's just a little bit ways from Cleveland. These two teams have never actually played in the postseason. And if you had it on your bingo card that the Tigers and the Indians or the Guards were going to play, you'd be the only one. The Tigers were 10-20,000 games out of first place and not even close. And then at the end of the season, they just went on a huge winning streak. One of the hotter teams in baseball. So folks, don't jump to conclusions that the Tribe is going to run all over Detroit. Yeah, it's great that we're playing the Tigers. We've done pretty well, but like the last time we played the Tigers was back in July. So that's, let's see, August, September, part of July. So it's almost probably been 2.5 months since these two teams actually played against one another. Interesting. So I know you all be paying attention to that, watching that. Hopefully the Indians get off, the Guards get off to a good start tomorrow and a home game. So tune in. Yes, there will be college football on, but if you're a Clevelander and you're a sports fan and you're a loyal Tribe Indians fan, then tune into that game as they start tomorrow. I'm also talking Cavs. Cavs season is coming right around the corner, and was talking to my colleagues over at the King James Gospel, part of Fansided. And we were, I'm writing up an article about 5 players that we really missed the Cavs kind of let go too soon. One of those players that I'm going to talk about is Ron Harper. You guys remember Ron Harper? Yeah, back in the mid 80s, went on to have a very good career. Thought he was going to do some great things here in Cleveland. Just they decided to let him move on. And another player in that list could be Andrew Miller. You remember him? Yeah. So we're going to talk about that in my latest Cavs article. So tune in for that one. I've got a Browns article coming around the corner tomorrow. So make sure you're tuned into that. We'll probably be talking about Stefanski's play calling. All right. Well, folks, I hope everybody has a really good weekend. By the way, college football tomorrow. We got the Ohio State Buckeyes with a home game here against the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think the Buckeyes roll on that. My fantasy league teams are not looking very good going into this week. I'm in multiple leagues, and I think I'm 0-4 in 2 of my leagues. Ugh. You know what it is? I took Christian McCaffrey with the number 1 draft picks. Any of you took Christian McCaffrey, we got screwed, right? You know, it killed our opportunities for fantasy league football this year for some of us. But hopefully we'll get it turned around. Folks, I hope everybody has a very good rest of your Friday evening. It's a fun Friday. Look forward to bringing you more content. Like I said, Burning River Browns Talk right around the corner. So stay tuned here to the YouTube and to the X pages, as Lou and Sherry will be coming on shortly. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if we have any shows going to be on live tomorrow, but we definitely will have a pregame show for the Brownies coming up. I think we scheduled that for 10 o'clock Sunday morning, Eastern, 10 Central, or 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Obviously, we'll have a post-game show, rain or shine. If the Browns win or lose, we'll bring you that as well. So look forward to that. And let's go get a win, Browns. Let's go get a win. Let's go beat those Commanders. You guys can do it. You got to bring it all together, execute, and be consistent. And let's hope that maybe Deshaun Watson goes up for over 300 yards. Could it be? I got my fingers crossed. All right, folks, take care. Go Browns. And remember, folks, to always keep smiling. Take care, everybody.